Yeah. Welcome to three conservative gimps. Good to see you guys. We've got a good show today. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about these crazy gas prices and the economy. The economy is going to shit. I mean, we got an addle-minded guy running the show. Who is pulling the strings? Who's controlling it? Oh, who's in charge? So we'll talk about that. So I want to say hello to Mikey McH. Welcome to the show. So let's get this going, and let's bring in my co-host all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. It is Lloyd Mendenhall.
Hey, how
Hello,
you doing, Art?
hello.
Hello,
I'm
how you
doing all
doing?
right. Yep. Doing the full YouTube full time now.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's, I tell you what, times they are getting crazy.
Yes,
That's for
they
sure.
are.
Yeah,
For those of you who don't know, I got terminated from my job of 26 years due to workforce reduction. So,
yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of places are going to start doing that.
yep. I mean, even over at Tesla, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yep. They're
Although,
eliminating 10%.
yeah, I saw that he put out another tweet yesterday, I think, that I forgot what he said there's going to be an overall increase in the head count, but I'm not sure
Right.
what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hate to hear you got terminated, but good thing
Yeah,
is you're
well,
old enough to retire now. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true. That's true.
you had that to fall back on. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, hopefully, uh,
Yep, I
hopefully
got
it's
my
not
401k and
right.
yep,
Yeah, I was
it
going to
just
say you got your bitcoins, but they're kind of
oh
taking a pounding.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It went from Bitcoin to real tiny Bitcoin,
yeah, micro bitcoin.
microbit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was one of those things that's why I like cash.
the cold
Cash to
hard
me,
cash. Yep,
cold hard cash, anything
yep.
electronic. I don't even. I've said this before. Because I'm retired, I get paid once a month. I have a Excel spreadsheet. I go down that
Right,
sheet. I fill in the stuff down at the bottom. It tells me how much my bills are. Underneath that, I have my deposits. Underneath that, I have how many weeks there are, and then what's left over after all the bills are paid. What's left over, and after I take out a certain amount for each week, that's what goes into my savings. But I take all that money out because you're getting squat on interest, so there's no point of me leaving it in the bank and letting them make
yep.
money
That's
off of it.
yeah. And
You know.
plus, you'll lose money keeping it in the bank.
Yeah, yeah. So I just pull that out each month, and that's what I have to live on. And beginning
Mm-hmm.
of the month I eat steak. At the end of the month I eat beans and taters.
Beans and taters, macaroni and cheese, and
Yeah.
yep.
That's it.
Hey, let's say hello to Ed, loved by drones,
Oh,
and
hello, Ed.
Chris
Chris Wedgeworth.
Wedgeworth.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. So Ed's brave enough to watch a show with me on it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Ed. So,
Oh yeah.
so we got price of gas going through the roof, and it's crazy. I think by the end of summer here in Denver area, I think it's going to be over $5 a gallon.
Oh yeah. I paid the other day. I paid 4.24 a gallon. That was first time. That was quite a jump because it'd been running about 3.89, and then I had hadn't had to get gas for a little while and went in there. And said, oh crap, 4.24 gallons. And my new van is flex fuel, so I'm thinking of now the station that I'm at. They did away with all of their premium gasolines.
Mm-hmm.
They only carry the 10% mix 87 octane now because that's all they can sell because nobody can afford to buy the more expensive stuff. So, so they
Well,
don't
the
even carry the
reason your gas is cheaper there is well, Oklahoma is like
Oklahoma's one of
you
the
got
oil.
oil all over the place there, and plus
Yeah,
it's a red state, so you don't have all the stupid regulations that
right,
we
right.
have
Yeah,
here
we
in Colorado, and we've got tons of
back in the back in the
fuel
early
under
80s.
our feet.
Oklahoma in the 70s, Oklahoma was considered the oil capital of the world because this is where Tulsa is where they used to all the oil members around the world used to come in and they had a big oil expo up there and and they were considered it wasn't just a brag, it was an actual truth. We were the oil capital of the world because this is where all of the major companies had their
Right.
uh, industry at was here in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And then the recession of the 80s, early 80s hit, and man, Oklahoma, we're always about 2 years behind the rest of the world when it comes to the recession because we usually have ours. Uh, we try to hedge our bets in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and so during the last, so it hit in about 83. It started getting bad, and then but we went in, a lot of the oil companies went into the telecom business and they made some good money and were doing pretty good until, Uncle Billy and Uncle Bill and all of his stuff and the dot-com bubble burst. Well, that killed a lot of people, but we've managed to stay afloat, and because of the way our state constitution is and stuff, it's that we just can't go spend willy-nilly.
Yeah, you can't deficit spend like the
We
feds
can't.
can. Neither can any
Yeah,
other state.
yeah. So, the couple of schools, CNY New York photo video.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
Mike Roach's channel.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Hey,
yeah,
Mike.
he changed the name of his channel.
Okay.
So good to have you, Mike.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm going to have to look for a station now that sells E85 because it's running about 50 cents to $1 cheaper. Now the problem is you don't get as good a gas mileage out of
Right.
E85,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
you get more power, and it's a lot cheaper. I don't mind getting a couple miles a gallon less if I can get it for $3 or $4 for $1 or 75 to $1. If it's only like 50 cents, I'm going to buy the blend because that's just it. But when it starts getting where it's $1 cheaper, well, I'm going to go with the E85.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, here in the Denver area, I've been looking around. It's been averaging 444, and some stations as high as 469. That's for regular. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
here we got a president who's blaming all of this on the Ukrainian war. This all got started well before that war started. It actually started on day one of his presidency when he
yeah.
decided to stop the pipeline and
He
then
stopped the pipeline. He
cut
stopped.
all the oil leases, or
Yep.
he put
He put him on a
barriers to
more.
make it
Yeah.
harder
Well.
for oil companies to explore for oil. And when they
Yeah.
give us this bullshit, well, they got all these leases that they're not using. Well,
And this.
they can't do that because you put all these regulations on how, because it takes capital to drill a well. And if you have a bank that's not going to loan you money because the government put restrictions on who they could loan money to, they're in a real bad spot. And
Yeah.
if you don't have a pipeline where you could ship gas or oil that's from Canada down to refineries down in Texas, well, you're delaying the whole mechanism by doing that.
Yeah, and you got to stop and think now. Even if he had left the pipeline open, would we still be getting that oil and fuel now with Herr Hitler up there in Trudeau up
Oh,
there
you
in
mean
Canada?
the prime minister?
Yeah, the prime minister. Yeah, because he's turned into, he might as well be yeah, what is it? I think, what's his first name? Lennon Trudeau. Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he,
We
because
call
that's the
him
kind of guy
Lenny for short.
Lenny for short. Yeah, Lenny Trudeau. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, because
Lenny the Loony?
yeah, they would. He probably would have shut our oil off anyways because we weren't being environmentally blah 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 yada yada tree hugging type stuff.
Oh boy.
I mean, when you look what he's done now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to love my drones. You're right.
It amazes me that he got reelected. What in the hell is wrong with those Canadians?
Well, part of the problem is, and this is where, you and I talked a little bit before the show, is the parliamentary procedure.
Mm-hmm.
The people don't necessarily have a direct vote.
Right.
And as long as his party keeps him as the head of their party, and then they can form a coalition government with other parties. You can have all the conservatives, the right wing conservatives. You can have them all being members of parliament, but if they don't have the majority, if they're they can have a majority over everybody else, but if it's not a 50%, well, then that means the other parties can all band together, and he gets a stake. So it's. Whereas us, we vote directly for the president, or we vote for the electorates, on the electoral college, but we still have that vote for the president. Whereas they don't do that there.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you notice, have you seen the price of diesel fuel?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's $1 more than gasoline.
Yeah, and of course that's
going to have a ripple effect.
Yeah,
in the economy, because what gets shipped is by truck. And that's how goods get distributed around the country.
Yeah,
and
rail is also diesel.
Yeah, rail too. Yeah.
So and the only other thing would be aircraft, and they're JP5, and that's not cheap either. That's kerosene, but it's a glorified kerosene, but still, it's fuel. And Ed put it right. How's it more green to have tankers come from the Middle East? We were energy independent, right up until
we had so much energy, we were exporting it.
Yes.
And that's what was driving down the cost, because we were flooding the market with plenty of oil and natural gas. And
we actually have more actually have more oil in the United States than they do in all of the Middle East.
Right.
But we don't utilize it properly. And I mean. Yeah, all the stuff runs off of fossil fuel. You're right. Don't forget, unless the Republicans take control of Congress in 2023, in the next line after Harris is more Biden-Harris, a whole lot of Biden-Harris. Yeah,
well, Harris is not going to get elected because she couldn't even get one delegate when she was running for president, not even from her own state. So the only reason she got picked was, number one, she's a woman and black, and they wanted to pick somebody so unpopular that people
wouldn't impeach. Yeah, they wouldn't want to impeach Biden.
Yeah,
as a smart move. Well, I mean, that's That's what I'm going to be using on my for my campaign in 2024.
Oh, so I'm that bad, huh?
No. I was going to use what they used with Harris.
Oh.
Because of this new identity culture of ours, I thought I'd identify as a black woman.
Then you repeat every other word like she does.
Right. Yeah, but I'll identify as a black woman. I'm bound to win the election that way.
Together, we could do stuff that if we work together, and if it works, we could work together, and that's how we could fix the economy if we work together.
And see, that's why I'm choosing you as my vice presidential candidate, because you did that so well that you'll be the perfect vice president. You can get up there and speak for an hour and not say anything.
Right. Yeah. And that's how I can elevate you, Lloyd.
Ed, yeah. But Ed, you're right. That's why they keep her, is because anybody's better than Kamala.
Yep. Uh-huh. And if old Joe dies in office, heaven forbid.
Oh, God. Yeah. Hopefully, well, I don't think his wife's going to let him go off of life support. She'll keep him on life support and then lie about
it. She's probably the one running the show, just like Edith Wilson did with
Wilson. Yeah.
Yep.
I need to check here.
Yep. And I think
I got to check and see if they have a year on. No, they don't. Good. I just had to see if I need to get new campaign buttons or not, but they don't have the year, so they're for whenever I want to run. So, yeah, bite me. I stand for nothing. That's exactly it. I stand for absolutely nothing. So, I ought to be a shoe-in. I also had some doubts about the Republican-controlled House and Senate would toss Harris. They had DNA on Clinton and let him stay. Yeah.
Well,
it's a different.
To be fair, it was different because the Republicans didn't have a supermajority. They would have to have 60 senators to convict, and we just didn't have the numbers.
And
I think
there were still, the thing that I'm seeing is starting to happen in the Republicans now that are in the runoffs and are in the primaries, is we're starting to see more of we're eliminating some of the rhinos, and we're starting to see more grassroots, type people being elected. And, I think it's, our and this is what I was, you and I talked about a little bit before the show, trying to explain to people outside of our country, especially, they don't understand how our republic works, and they're used to a parliamentary procedure. You oust the SOB and he's done. But yeah, the rhinos won't do it. They never do. You're right, Mike.
Yeah, but they'll impeach their own president.
Oh yeah.
But this is why numbers matter, because there are some states where a strong conservative just cannot win in that state. If it, slightly leans right, a solid Republican just. And that's why we have someone like who's that? Susan Collins up in Maine. Because a real Republican would not win up there.
Yeah, but we're starting to see a shift.
Here's the difference. Yes, I know about the shift, but the locus of power is really in the House and the Senate. And if we don't have majorities in the House and Senate, we do not control the agenda. And that is how our government works.
Yeah, but there have been voting blocks of groups that voted predominantly Democrat or Republican or whatever, and we're starting to see that those lines are blurring now, and we're seeing a shift. A lot of the shift now, especially during this time period, is moving further to the right. We're starting to in the local state elections and in the I mean, because what is it? 36 states are Republican states, you know,
something like that.
36 or 38 states. We've got as statewide. Now we're starting to see that shift federally because they're seeing what the federal, they've given them 2 years again. You know, why, and if they couldn't do anything with their majority in 2 years, then they should, and all they've managed to do is destroy this country. You're right. I think it's Mickey.
And I blame suburban moms because they didn't like Donald Trump. That he's a mean tweet. Yeah.
Well, that was the difference is the way. First off, the Republicans for the longest time have turned the other cheek because that's the good Christian thing to do. That's okay. If that's, the way you believe, that's fine. But you also got to remember, Jesus threw the sellers out of the temple. He didn't. He got. He threw them out. And our problem is we've been too mealy mouthed. We didn't want to go down that road. And Donald Trump was the first one to do it, and that just caught everybody off guard. That he knew how to get down there, roll up his sleeves, and fight like a dog. And and in a lot of ways he did fight, and he saved himself from being impeached. Is because he knew they knew how to fight. And the problem is the Republicans in the House and the Senate right now that we currently have don't know how to fight. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to fight against these. They don't know how to deal with rhinos. They don't know how to deal with the Democrats, especially the far left. Even the Democrats are starting to realize that the far left is hurting them. Yep.
That's
and
Yep. Because the far left is so far out there. They're anti-capitalist, and yeah, I agree with you, Ed. But it all depends on how well we do in the elections, and because Mitch, I mean, if we get more Republicans in, if he doesn't have the support, he may not be picked as the majority leader.
Right.
And I sure as hell hope it's not Mike Lee, because that guy's an idiot.
Yeah,
he's the one. He's railing against drones. He's always putting in these new drone laws that are killing our business. All right, Mike, take care. Good to see you, and hopefully we'll see you back on the panel soon. Yep.
Yeah, I won't be having any of those kind of Oreos there, Mike. Fried Oreos. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
they taste so festive.
Yes, they do. I started seeing probably a month ago. I started seeing the Mickey Mouse display at Walgreens. Was all of it was Pride
all
stuff.
Rainbows.
Yeah.
With the Pride Oreos, they taste great. It's like a party in your mouth, and everyone's coming.
I knew you were going to go there. The extreme left is insane, and this is the thing. We've known about these people, this agenda for 60 years. This has been this isn't something that just happened. It's not. AOC is not the beginning of this.
Nope.
It's been around a lot longer. The infiltration and the manipulation and the grooming and all of this stuff has been building. They've been doing it for over 60 years.
Yep.
Look
at Harvey Weinstein. I mean, that guy got to be powerful in Hollywood, doing what he was doing. It was like,
yeah. Yeah, and the same goes with this is the way and the country in the way it is and the far left agenda. Like I said, they've been working on us. I think they started right after the McCarthy era.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's to me, it's always been their plan to get back at the conservatives for putting them through that, especially the
right.
the
And then when
leftists.
Nixon came around and screwed up, they pounced on that.
Oh yeah, and after that, it was that was
Yep. It was just nothing but a perpetual witch hunt. Every time a Republican got into power, oh, we gotta have an investigation. Look at what happened with the Ronald Reagan.
Oh yeah, the Iran Contra affair.
I mean, what he did was nothing compared to what Nixon did, and
what Nixon did was no worse than 90% of the others. He just got caught, and his mistake was lying about it. If he said, "Yeah, if he'd have been a good politician, he'd have thrown those guys to the wolves and been done with it." Man, I screwed up. I'm sorry. And that would have been it.
But I'm not a crook.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I happen to know differently because I know his family lineage, and I think that family lineage has been crooks all the way back to when they came over here from England and Germany. So,
Yep. So, with the price of gas going up, and not just gasoline, but with diesel fuel and with LPG, LGBTQ gas, natural gas. That's what
natural gas.
Yeah, liquid propane. I mean, the price of all fossil fuels is going up, and it's starting to affect, how to power our homes, for heat and electricity. That's going up, and we're putting up all these windmills all over the place, and we're closing down coal plants, which were so much cleaner than they were even 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Because you lived here in the Denver area. You remember those days where you saw that brown cloud, and
I
now
remember
it's gotten so better. You could see Pikes Peak now.
Well, I remember as a young kid being able to look from Westminster over there on 76th, about 76th and Zuni. You could look down and you could see the gold gleaming off the Capitol, to see the sun reflecting off the gold Capitol dome. Yep. But then by about 71, 72, about 71, 70, 71, you couldn't see half that distance,
Right.
I mean, it got the brown cloud, the smog, and it was like that was the that was the first time it just but that was what I remember as a kid, being able to go out there on my front porch and look just straight to the south, I guess.
South and east.
South and east, south and east, and you could see the sun reflecting off the gold Capitol building. Yep. So,
and, so with the price of power going up, that's going to affect manufacturing, and it's all just going to be. It's a domino effect. It's going to trickle through. And how do we get our fertilizer, Lloyd? Where does that come?
Well, it depends on what it is, whether it's
fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels, yeah.
Yep. So you're raising the price of
right
fertilizer. Food prices go up.
Yeah.
Cost of shipping the food to the processors and then out to the grocery store, that's going up.
Yeah, I mean
And
it's already happening so much.
yeah,
I'm going to stores now and seeing, one, they're cutting back on what they do offer. They're starting to offer more generic stuff, which is
hmm
still expensive, and
hmm
I Judy and I went out Friday, I guess it was. I took her out shopping, and when we went to buy something, she says, and when we got through paying for it and we left, she says, "How much did we spend?" And I told her, and she says, "For that?" I said, "Yeah, prices have
yeah,
gone up.
hmm
It's just gotten ridiculous. It has
hmm
just gotten ridiculous."
yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh,
And last weekend I was down in Pueblo,
right,
and I was expecting the lake to be just full of people for Memorial Day weekend, and
right.
I'm like, oh wow, there's not that many people on the lake, and
You can't afford the
normally
boat full.
the year before, trying to get the boat off the lake, we had to wait quite a bit to,
Right,
get
yeah.
the van down with the trailer
Mm-hmm.
and get in to pull us out, and but it wasn't as crowded as last year. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
travel and vacations are going to start declining. I think, and then that's going to be a ripple effect in the tourism industry.
Yeah.
Where,
Oh yeah. I mean, all of this is and and the thing is it still goes back to, this has zero to do with the war in Ukraine.
yep.
You know, it has zero to do with that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they even though and the thing is I heard, this is back when Trump was still president. There was a gentleman called in on actually called in. It was on the Sean Hannity, but he called in on I can't remember what her name was now at the time she
Laura
was
Ingram.
talking. Yeah, it might have been Laura Ingram, and he said he would rather, he doesn't care if it hurts the country, if it hurts him, even as long as they can get their. The Democrats had an agenda, and their agenda was to shut down this country,
Mm-hmm.
and this was
And that's what I've been saying too. I was
yeah,
saying this right after Trump got elected, that
yeah,
the state the Democrat controlled states were going to raise taxes after Trump lowered taxes, and they were going to do everything they could to you know to stall the economy and to get to
yeah,
falter. And then when COVID hit, that was their opening
yeah.
to
And where
finally
did
collapse
and
the
and
economy.
and where
Yeah,
did COVID come from?
yeah, yeah. China. Yeah.
China, out
Or
of a
as
lab
Trump
that
would say,
was
China.
yeah, and out of a lab that was funded,
By
you know,
NIH. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, now they're saying, hey, look, hey, there's another bug coming out called monkeypox.
Uh,
Yeah.
That one, I'm just that one
That
I'm not
sounds
worried
like a
about.
breakfast cereal. Hey,
Yeah,
let's
well,
get a bowl of monkeypox.
but the monkeypox is it's a gay related disease.
Ah, that
Those are
sounds
the
like
only
that song from the disco days. Dun 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 dun. Monkeypox. Dun dun
yeah.
dun dun.
Well, it
Monkeypox.
there's
Instead of
21 people
Funky
that's got it.
Town, it's
Yeah, there's
monkeypox.
21 people in the United States that's got it, and all of
Right.
them are gay.
Oh,
It came out.
stop it, Lloyd. That just
I know, right?
that's just terrible.
Well, but the thing is the CDC has actually put out for people in gay relationships to take protection.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they want to. The news wants to run this up like it's the next COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only certain people that live certain lifestyles that have to worry about it. And I'm not saying anything homophobic. I'm just saying this is the case. And this actually started.
That's true.
This actually started the same way that AIDS did. And the same is following the same.
And next time you're at the Chinese restaurant, stay away from the cream of some young guy.
Yeah, exactly. But the news isn't going to say that. And the thing is, I'm not reading this off of some dark web wacko website. I'm reading it off the CDC themselves. They're the ones putting out these. But the news isn't saying that. So naturally, they're going to start saying that this is the next COVID, because that way they can play it up and they can create panic. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to not tell the truth on what's causing it or how it's being transmitted. Can we pay to support monkeypox? Yeah. Every major federal agency is corrected.
You're right.
You miss him,
Mikey. It's the corrupt media that's covering for the Democrats. They have become the arm of the Democrat Party, and so they worked so hard to try to get Trump out, get Biden elected, and
we just had this trial Sussman.
Right.
He was found not guilty, but that's irrelevant. Lie. His only charge was, and it was in a packed court anyways, but it doesn't make any difference. So he lied or didn't lie to the FBI. The thing is that to take away from that is not whether he was guilty or not. You can make your own decisions on that. They've said he wasn't, so he isn't. But it was the stuff that was released about how Hillary Clinton was connected, and that came out, and how the FBI was tied into it and how they were connected. They knew it was bad. And the Russian hoax was not, the Russian collusion was not between Trump and Russia. It was between Hillary and Russia.
Mike says maybe
monkeypox get rid of some of the alphabet people.
There we go.
I don't. It doesn't make any difference. I just my whole point about the monkeypox was I wanted people to understand it's not like COVID. It can't be caught by being sneezed on. You have to engage in certain activities, and it doesn't matter, and it's going to cross over. It's going to cross the lines just like AIDS did, or HIV. And, we're going to have to deal with that. And so, but right now it's, just make sure that you take those precautions if you are of that persuasion in the conversation.
Keep your pickle wrap. Put your hot dog in a bun.
Hot dog in a bun. That's right.
Yeah.
Which I tell you what, that's good. That's good advice no matter what.
Yep.
But anyways.
Also, I guess one of the vaccines for monkeypox is actually a vaccine derived from smallpox.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, because all of those all have a base genetic marker in them, and chickenpox, smallpox, any of those type of diseases all have the same core. So, but anyways, I think I've digressed enough. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to get
too festive.
Yeah, right. No, I was just reading what Mike B put up there. That's true too. So, you got to be exposed to get it.
So I think, in my feeling, I don't know about what your feeling is. I feel like we are in a recession, but technically a recession is 2 quarters of 0 or negative GDP growth.
Right.
But
Right.
and accompanied with unemployment, I think we're just starting to see unemployment starting to tick up. I mean, look at what happened with me. You know, I lost my job, and Maddie from Maddie's Drone World lost his job, and so.
Yeah, I think we're in the beginnings of a recession. I think it's really starting to pick up steam, but I have an idea when this recession hits finally. When it becomes a full recession, it's going to be worse than the last couple we've had.
Right.
Because we're starting to, because now we're starting to run on something. Even in the last couple of recessions, we haven't had to worry about shortages like we do now.
That's true.
We're running into shortages, and that's because truckers can't afford to put fuel in their vehicles to transport the stuff, or because we're just coming out of COVID lockdowns over the last 2 years, and things are really starting to pick up. But we don't have any. There's no part of the recession is because people got used to not working, and I like what he owns Tesla. My mind just went blank.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. God almighty. I hate getting old. Anyways, like he said, he expects them to be there for 40 hours, 40 hours a week. He expects them to be at the place of business, at work, and people have gotten so used to working from home that, not. I mean, there's been a lot of factors going on here over the last couple of years. It's not working, working at home and not being socialized with people, not being connected, not having interaction, and it's starting to show. It really is. And not buying what they absolutely need. And people, the housing market is slowing. People are now buying what they don't absolutely need. Good jobs are slowing. That's right. This is just the beginning. I think you're right. Absolutely. Because, well, like I said, of course, we talked about Bitcoin. That was supposed to be the savior. Is supposed to be recession proof. It isn't. Gold is the best you're going to get. Gold or silver. Or good hard cash. But even that, if it's printed by the Federal Reserve, even it's not recession proof.
Yeah.
But oh crap! What's that charging station? Yeah.
Yeah, where do I pull in my
Well,
Tesla,
I saw a political.
Prius?
I saw a cartoon, and it showed it showed a guy sitting there with his Tesla car. It was plugged in. He's on the phone and says, "Yes, it is plugged in." What it was plugged into was a windmill, electric turbine.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of winter, and it was froze.
Oh boy.
Says, yes, it's plugged in. Calling technical support. Yes, it's plugged in.
Oh boy.
Is it plugged in? Yeah. Well, when you plug into one of those frozen wind turbines, you ain't going to be able to charge that electric car of yours. And our problem is
we need to get this economy going. Is we need to, get back to fossil fuels, but not just.
Chris saw that. Yeah.
We need to get back to nuclear power, like thorium reactors, and which are safer than uranium or plutonium, because those fuels can't be processed into weapons grade material.
Right.
And
right.
They've got this thing called molten salt thorium reactor. where it's all self-contained and there's
Self-contained.
no contamination. It just heats up whatever medium that they're using, whether it's water or some kind of fluid that they're using that conducts heat better, that could turn a turbine.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the thing is, our technology is a lot better than it was back when 3 Mile Island.
right. Mm-hmm.
What was the one?
Chernobyl?
No, not well, Chernobyl, yeah, but then there was the one where the gal had she got
yeah.
I should know that one because it's here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it is. Was that Kerr McGee?
No. Kerr McGee is our navigational canal. And it was also a McGee Oil Company. But no, it wasn't Kerr McGee. It was Black something or another. I can't remember what it's called. Black Hawk? Was that?
No,
Black Hawk?
that was Mogadishu. No.
Yeah, I know it, but it's Black something. It's something Blackthorn or something like that. I can't remember now. I can't even remember. But anyways, we ended up having that cost us. That cost me I helped pay for that because when they shut it down, they had to recoup their loss. They raised everybody's electric bills.
Right.
And so we paid for that for almost 15 years before it finally, maybe it's Blackwood was her name. I can't remember now.
Okay. Silkwood was the name of the movie.
Silkwood was the name of the movie.
And I'm trying to think of, she was at a worker at a plutonium processing. Was that at Oak Ridge? No, that was one of the.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Oh, it said the Kerr McGee plant in Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Oh, it was a Kerr McGee plant.
Yep.
Okay.
See, I knew what I was talking about, Lloyd.
Right. Well, I can't remember. I can't remember what I did yesterday. So, I mean, I'm old. Give me a break. So, anyways. But yeah, we need to start,
Oh, and then there's hydroelectric. And if you're in an area that has a lot of geothermal heat, you use that. Yeah.
Yeah, we use a lot of we don't use hydroelectric here. We do have some hydroelectric here. We have the Grand River Dam Authority, which runs all the way from the northeast part of Oklahoma all the way down past Muskogee. So it's part of the Kerr McGee navigational system. It's all part of the and they run a lot of hydroelectric up in that part of the state coming off of Grand Lake, and we have dams that run out of here, but we still have our regular electric plants too. So ours is kind of the main reason we have all the lakes in Oklahoma, especially in this part, is to keep to eliminate the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's here.
Was it also flood control too?
It was flood control as well.
Especially here in Colorado, especially around the Denver area,
right?
We had flood control.
Yeah, you had Cherry Creek and you had Platte
Cherry
River,
Creek, we had Chatfield, Bear Creek,
North Platte.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that flood.
Yep.
That was
1965.
Yep, I remember it well. Because we couldn't go over and see my grandfather. He lived across the, I don't remember whether it's the Platte or which one it was. He lived on the opposite side of town from us. And we went over and saw him every Sunday after church. We usually went over there, and so we didn't get to go see him for almost a month because we couldn't get across there. All the bridges were washed out going to that side of town. And my mom, it was her dad, and she was kind of in a panic because it was also long distance in those days to call across town.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it
And
was.
so
It was the South Platte,
yeah,
and I
South
think
Platte.
it was a heavy rainstorm around the Deckers area because that's where
Well, it
Platte
started
River.
raining. I remember when it started raining. The first day we got rains everywhere. I mean,
Yep.
because I went to school at a church just up at the end of our block, and I walked down there, and it was just starting to rain. And I remember standing there on our front porch, watching these clouds roll in, and you could just see the deluge of water dropping out of these clouds all across Denver.
Yep.
And then it started raining in the north part, out in Westminster area where I lived at, you know, or where you live at, you know. It started raining there a little bit later, and then it kept it up for almost 4 days.
Yeah.
Was,
well, here
it,
we've got Ralston Creek, and that empties
right,
into Clear Creek, which
right,
empties
right,
into the Platte. And then you have Bear Creek in Lakewood.
right,
That runs into the Platte, I believe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was the Platte, that that and Cherry Creek Dam, Cherry Creek
Yeah.
Reservoir, which it flowed over the top of the reservoir. They thought the dam was going to burst, and yeah, it's only a matter of time before they start shutting down the nuclear plants in his area. Let's see, I think he said he's from Philadelphia. Let's see,
Yep.
the nuclear
Well, here in Colorado,
replaced the coal.
Yeah, they closed Fort St. Vrain nuclear
Right.
plant. Yep.
Yeah.
They closed that, and then it became a natural gas plant, and I think that's going to get closed down. Yeah, because
Well,
the dumb idiots that are running the state here, they're closing down power plants right and
I
left.
forgot who it was. He's one of the big oil guys, and he started investing from here in Oklahoma. T. Boone Pickett, that was it.
Yep.
He started investing in windmills. He was really pushing here in the state to go towards turbine energy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said because we can do away with not the fossil fuels, we could do away with the coal by converting to natural gas, which Oklahoma has an abundance of natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's but it didn't work. I mean, it turned out, it's after Snowmageddon down there in Texas, that pretty
Yep.
well, showed what, and Germany was going through the same thing. They about froze to death over in Germany.
Yep.
Because they went strictly turbine.
Yep.
And so their grid's completely.
You know what country has a lot of turbines? India.
India, yeah, they have a lot of turbines.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that,
shall receive.
Seek and you shall receive. Yeah.
See, I'm very punny today.
You are very punny today. Oh my God, yeah. So
I've been watching too much of Uncle Roger. That guy kills me.
Uncle Roger.
Uncle Roger, he's an Asian guy. Wears an orange polo shirt. And he goes, "Why you look this way? His name is Nigel Ning. He's from Malaysia. And very funny guy. That guy's only been doing comedy since 2019. And now he's a big YouTube star now.
Yeah.
And you
gotta stop.
There's another guy named Steve He, He, and he does his character's catchphrase is emotional damage.
Yep, I've seen him. Yeah. You got to remember now. See, YouTube will probably be going down pretty soon too.
Oh,
because they're going to stop the free speech. Anything that's offensive to anybody will be stopped. Second, it requires electricity to run all of these servers, and it's just a matter of time that once we hit the new ice age, YouTube will be the first thing to go.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
No more Uncle Roger. His
that's
thing is
it.
he likes to watch these chefs that make Oriental
Oh
food,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
roasts
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Oh, he's
He roasts them.
funny.
Yeah. Start going to Rumble. Well, see, that's the problem. Rumble will be just as bad because without electricity, you can't run your
Yeah,
computer.
yeah. You can't rumble with Rumble.
Yeah. I actually have a Rumble account. I forget about it, to
So
be
do
honest
I,
with
and
you.
I haven't
Yeah.
done anything with for
Yeah.
what, a year or so.
Yeah. It's supposed to, I thought it was supposed to automatically, whenever I uploaded a video, it was supposed to automatically set it over on Rumble, but for some reason it's not working. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll have to see what's wrong with it. But
I do have a fishing video that I've uploaded. Well, it uploaded last night, and I finally made it public this afternoon.
oh, okay. Okay.
Called
You're right. Google does have a lot of solar power. The problem is I don't have solar power. So when it gets so expensive that the average household cannot pay for their electric bill and electric starts shutting off, or they have to start shutting their computer down because they can't afford the extra milliwatts,
Mhm.
that's what's going to hurt Bitcoin too. As if,
Mhm. Well, actually, a lot of the Bitcoin companies they're going to Central America where they have a lot of geothermal power.
okay, yeah,
Yep. That's why it was I think it was Belize or Honduras is going to make their own Bitcoin is going to be their currency. Yeah.
yeah. Well, good for Honduras. They deserve it.
Yep. And I've
I,
got an ex fiance from Honduras.
yeah, it's been a few fun filled time, a little bit of fun filled time back in my younger days down in Honduras.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
That was back then.
Hmm. And you know what they say, and it's correct that liberal girls are easy
Yeah,
because she was a socialist.
she was a
Because
socialist. Yeah,
yeah, because she backed that guy that wanted to change the Constitution so he could be president for life, and then
right.
they had not a coup, but they finally they stopped him from doing it, but his wife ran for office and
Right,
she was
right, right.
defeated by Hernandez, who I don't know who the leader is now.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't paid attention to that since the '70s, early '80s. You
But
know.
Marcos is back in power in the
Yeah, yeah,
Philippines.
yeah, yeah. Junior.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
Ferdinand Jr. And I don't think he'll be anything like his dad. I don't think he'll declare martial law unless shit really hits the fan over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of the bad press about Ferdinand Marcos was really just like what's going on here. You had a liberal press that always just brought up this this bad stuff that but he did a lot of really good things for the company. He really brought that country into the
Country out of
20th century.
20th century. Yeah. Well,
He's the
he
one
had
that
to.
developed the
He had.
highway system
Well, he had to
and
have a. He had to. He had to do that. I mean, it was self protection because he had to set up the highway so they could get to the stores. They had to set up the malls. They had to have all those stores for all those shoe stores so his wife could go to the shoe shopping.
that's, that's
If she
right.
wasn't happy, well then he was
And
in
he
trouble.
also set up the mass transit that's in Manila. They've got a huge well, it's not a subway, but a train uh,
Right, transit
transportation in
system. Yeah,
Manila.
yeah,
Yep. And that was all foreign funding from uh, Germany and China, and yep.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, welcome, Mason. Good to see you. Saw you this morning over there on Johnny Drone Flyers coffee morning show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Well, we've been all over the map today, Art.
Yeah, we have been all over the map, and we've done just a little bit over an hour. It's
over
an
an
hour
hour.
and 5 minutes. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming and supporting the channel. Hey, go tell your friends about this channel. Let's grow this channel because
Yeah. Well, you know, this is a pretty good crowd we've had today. So,
and it's
and of
been
course,
steady all day.
yeah. Because of course, Chris and Mike B. Good to have Mickey McH and Ed. It was good to see you in here. And so yeah, it was. Yeah, we had some good.
Also, if you want to help me out,
Mason.
you know, because now that I'm unemployed, you could. I'm trying to find out what my PayPal is. I have to go to. Where is that? I think it's Art Code Drones 2020 is my business PayPal. Let's see.
Yeah, Ed, we're glad you are too. I know you've had a rough road to hoe there for a while, health wise.
Oh, I made sure that because I have my old PayPal account. That's connected to my eBay account.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in, and that should take you to my PayPal account if you'd like to make a donation to help me out during this. Oh, wait a minute. That's my Gmail. Damn it. I got. Let me get the URL for this.
As we patiently wait, you need to have. Why don't you put it in the description? That way,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, you're trying to put it into the description?
Yeah. Screw it. I'm gonna do it this way. This'll because I've got it set up with my Artco.
Right.
So let's go to that. Open that up. Go to the right channel, and for some reason my internet has been wonky.
I noticed. I restarted my system today because I noticed it was a little squirrely. I don't know what it was.
And I finally broken 1550 on my YouTube channel. Okay, so Artco tip jar, and then I could get,
Well, if you put it in, if you go in and edit this video today and put it into it, do it after the show. That way, and everybody make sure make sure you have it ready for tomorrow night so we can link it on tomorrow night's show on my show. Okay. That way.
Here. Okay. Here we go. Let's and now I know where to get it. Here's my PayPal. Okay, so just click on that and might have to.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. That'll really help me out and get me through this.
Yeah, and everybody's in right now. It's getting to where everybody's in this boat. With the cost of living. So if you can help. If you can't, well, do what you can. If you can't, and that's okay, because some of this will actually help keep it where we can move the show further along.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. And you're right, Lloyd. I will edit this later and put this in the
yeah,
description, and I'll start putting that in my other platforms, and then when we come on your show tomorrow, and I get put
yeah,
into
yeah,
that. All
yeah.
right. Well, everybody in the chat, I want to thank you for coming. Hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you, and God bless this country. Lloyd, any closing words?
Well, it's like I always say: be kind, treat each other better than you would treat yourselves. Remember, everybody matters, even conservative gimps like us. God bless. God help the USA.
Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
And why isn't that? Okay, I'll have to do it this way.
Have to do it the